lead in trying to keep peace in Sanford, Florida. Ms. Reed on the line with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Doing well. Yourself?
Just fine, thank you.
Well, give us an idea. This case, was exceptionally volatile. Then more and more information has come out, and it seems that, maybe Mr. Zimmerman wasn't at all how he was painted originally. It doesn't make him innocent at this point, but it seems less volatile. What role are you folks going to take to try to keep the peace and put a better image maybe on Sanford, Florida, and this whole circus that's about to descend upon you again?
Look, Steve, I think the most important thing that we all have to look at, and we have to remember that, first of all, is it even possible to keep the race out of it, the race issue out of it, because it was founded on that from the very beginning.
The story was based on race, but the actual events, we don't know that.
Well, not the actual events, but everything of our country, because it has been polarized. Now, the most important thing, too, is good that the leaders, because the main thing is common ground and lack of tension is what we all want and we all need. And I think it is a good thing that the leaders are doing that. But one thing, we do training throughout the country, a lot of diversity, and even in the workplace. And the same thing applies. Our background, how we view things are based on our backgrounds, our experiences, our perceptions. So a lot of things start not only with the leaders, but with ourselves. How do we have ordered conversations? Watch what you say. Watch what you think. What you say out loud and how you phrase things, because that can be a powder keg. Even just a few minutes ago when I made one comment, as you said, well, it's been like this. That's just an example as we're just discussing. But if people have emotions involved, that's when the tension comes as well.
Well, my position is pretty clear, and I think that race is thrown out on the card all too often and all too easily, even when it's not supported by the facts, and that's my concern. Race to me is not of concern to me. I was born in the year that the civil rights documents and the civil rights bill was signed by Lyndon Johnson. So it's never been a concern to me. I've never grown up in a world that didn't have, equality, at least in writing. I've never been in a place that had separate restrooms for, black and white, if you will. So to me, it doesn't mean anything. So to me, when I see they threw the race card on this George Zimmerman case right out of the gate, called him a white Mexican, some news reports, and I'm like, really? They will go so far. People in some of these outlets will go so far to create a racial problem that they'll call. Well, I don't even know what a white Mexican. I don't even know what that means.
Sure, and I think even as you mentioned too is looking at the backgrounds, as you just describe your background, what you've experienced and why your views make it what you are and who you are. Others may have a different slight, and that's where that tension comes in. But even if you look at what diversity is about, and that's what you mentioned, because a lot of times it's not about race, but that's what we usually see. We as humans usually look at differences first a lot of times before we see similarities, and especially when something goes wrong. And a lot of times when we say, oh, this problem is because of race, it could be because of personality differences or maybe different parts of the country. But regardless, that's where we usually go as human beings, from our own personal experiences, backgrounds, and exposures.